Welcome to Sunset and Sold Unfiltered. I'm Josh Tung with David Haber. Daber Haber. Am I tripping over
Can
that?
you
Is it
say Daver Haber three times fast? Daver Haber,
Habley,
Daver Haber, Daver Haber.
Habley Dabley? David,
Yeah.
as always, on Sunset and Sold Unfiltered, rapid fire. We're going to talk about what's in the news. We're going to hear what people are saying and give proper credit where credit is due. And on that note, I would like to give immediate credit to our friends at South Beach Buzz on Instagram who are sharing some great things with us. And we're starting here. Tiny AI powered cars could soon replace shuttles in Miami.
I can't wait.
David, I want to see you in an AI car. Have you done
I
this
can't
before? Have you
wait.
gone like to San Francisco where they've got like the AI Uber and it drives
No, I have
driverless?
not, but I really would like to do it where I don't have to look at the road and I can sit on my phone without anybody yelling at me that I'm on my phone, and I can text and I can read emails and I can work while some robot drives me around.
Isn't like kind of we already have like the Metro Mover, right? Like that was sort of like I realize it's not like AI powered, but like Miami's had that for a while, like driverless trains. I mean, and the problem I have with the
But
Metro
why
Mover
can't
doesn't
we have driverless cars?
well, we can. I'm just saying, like, we've been kind of ahead of the curve. That's sort of like it doesn't go anywhere that we want to go. I mean, it just sort of does a loop around downtown, but I mean, it's not, we've been part of the driverless shuttle for a while. I just
I
want to
watched
see.
it on CBS Sunday Morning, the only positive news show in America. And I watched, they had this thing in San Francisco about the driverless cars. And some
I've taken it.
people,
I've taken it in San Francisco. It's actually
some
pretty
people
cool.
love it, and some people are just totally freaked out about it.
Well, I would say the first time I took it, I was definitely it's like it's funny because you just have such a social orientation driving around like in Ubers or taxis anyways, and then there's nobody to talk to, and you're like the first time you take it, you're just hoping it stays on the road.
Well, it's going to prevent me from asking my first question when I walk into every Uber or cab, which is, where are you from?
Well, speaking of things that cannot go driverless, Miami Beach approves a $1.2 million pilot for free water taxi targeting the Art Basel launch. David, am I going to see you in a water taxi on your way to Art Basel?
No, I'm going to walk to Art Basel from my house.
Well, all right. Presuming you
But
presuming
I,
you
but I
didn't
will
live so
say,
close.
I
Yes,
will
okay.
say it's a good idea.
Haven't we tried this before? Wasn't
We
that you're
have,
the Miami historian? Why isn't this picked up before? It seems so obvious.
people want to be in their cars, whether they'll get out onto a water taxi. I think it'll be something that tourists use. I don't think it'll be something locals use.
They have this up in Fort Lauderdale. I've seen this up in the Fort Lauderdale waterways. They seem to use taxis a lot more up there than we do.
I just think it's going to be tourist driven.
Well, I guess I guess South Beach Buzz missed the mark with David Haber on that one, but let's see if they hit it on this one. Look at that.
The mayor of Miami-Dade County, and I am in my very multicolored shirt, which I will be wearing on a Sun, Sand, and Sold podcast episode, and Catherine Doblé of Engage.
Well, this is brought to us by our friends at Engage. What event was this at, by the way?
This was the Beacon Council Awards dinner held at the Arsht Center in the Opera House. On the stage, they had like 50 tables of 8 or 10. They had like 500 people on the stage, which is interesting because when you see the opera, you don't realize how big that stage is. It's huge.
I've
Uh,
got I've got 5 words for you in the form of a question. Was there an open bar?
I can't answer on the grounds that it may incriminate me.
And I have another question for you. I
Let's
see.
just say it was a good thing there was an Uber, and there was a good thing that there was a railing I could hold on to
See,
as
of
I
the
was
nights that
going
you
down
needed
from the
a night
stage.
that you needed the robot Uber.
I,
See, you're making the case for it right now. Robot
Yeah, but I
Uber,
did
where were
ask the
you?
guy where he was from, and I got a really good answer. And I chatted the whole way home after a number of martinis.
Number of martinis, and can we count those martinis at least on one hand? Or are we at least?
No,
Are
no,
we at
no.
least?
One hand. One
Okay,
hand.
all right. So
Okay.
it's not great, because the other question I have about this picture, which I just noticed, is I see that Mayor Daniela has a phone in her hand, and I'm hoping it's not like, did she have 911 pre-dialed when you wrapped your arm
It
around
was
her, or was
actually
this?
as she walked in, she saw me, and I said, "Can we please take a picture with you?" I've known the mayor for 30 plus years when she was with the Guardian Ad Litem program, and I was the vice chair of Voices for Children, which was the Guardian Ad Litem Support Foundation. And we became very close back then. And she remains a friend. And as you recall, she was gracious
A
enough.
wonderful guest on our show.
She
Absolutely.
was on our show and allowed us to do it from the mayor's office in Miami-Dade County.
It was absolutely wonderful. David, we touched on this on our last
I
Unfiltered
thought this was
episode.
hysterical.
3 reasons why doctors prescribe traveling to Miami. Now, this is like right on the heels of what we talked about before. By the way, this is brought to us by our friends at Miami Explorers, and the rationale, of course, is the same that we've talked about. It's the weather, it's the health culture, et cetera, et cetera. But I'm beginning to pick up a theme here on our Instagram feed that Miami equals healthy. We got a lot of comments on that reel about
Did we
people.
really?
Oh,
I think that it's also the good-looking people. Everybody wants to be in Miami with all the stars and the celebrities, and they're always showing people on South Beach. I don't remember who it was I saw the other day. It was here on South Beach, but it's like I don't know if I'm not big into Instagram the way you are, but as an older person who looks at Facebook. I see all these people at all these star-studded galas in Miami. They all flock here when there's an event. They literally come from LA and they come from New York, and they're always popping into Miami.
Well, we got a ton of comments on this particular reel. I'll give you a couple of them. It's 2 types of vitamin D your girl is coming here for. That was one of the more interesting ones. I got this one. I live on Miami Beach. Vitamin D and vitamin C are very real, and C is spelled SEA. It feels amazing. However, there's a hard trade-off. Genuine character and human connection are afterthoughts in the MIA. So while the sun kisses your skin, your soul can starve. We got some deep comments on this
I
reel.
will say this. I have a number of friends who believe that Miami, when you're single, is very difficult because it is a soulless group of people who lack depth and substance. And it's all about what you're wearing, your watch, and your car. Very much like LA. And
Well,
that is one of the that's one of the knocks on Miami. Is
Well,
it's
one of our followers said this, and we'll move to the next slide after this. Said, no, it's fake. Go to Vermont or California. Georgia's incredible. Stop coming to Florida. Now, I don't know if that's just maintaining the border and saying it's all ours, or saying it's not what you think it is. But we definitely got a mixed bag of responses. Some of our viewers said, absolutely, it's the most incredible place. Healthy, healthy, healthy. Others said exactly what you saying. It's very superficial. It's soulless. So the debate rages on. We want to hear from you. Is your doctor prescribing Miami for you?
well, if he or she is, I hope they send you with money because you're going to need money to be in Miami.
This is the time of the show that we take a brief pause to thank our sponsors, ISO and ISO Hydrate.
I'm still waiting for a case.
Isotonic hydration means balance. ISO works in harmony with your body to restore fluids and electrolytes naturally. ISO, no shortcuts, just whole food ingredients for hydration you can trust. Thank you to our sponsors at ISO Hydrate. On that note of food in Miami, Power 1051 says Miami surpasses New York City as America's most expensive city for restaurant dining. Now,
I
I don't
sent
know if
that to you. I sent that to you. I couldn't
I
believe it.
I don't know if that's on a income relative basis or just straight up, but I am, I know you like to go out to eat a lot. I know you are a foodie. I am as well. I got to be honest, this doesn't surprise me. I've certainly traveled in New York a good bit. Miami has gotten, I would say, prohibitively expensive to dine out. And I think it's some of the experiential stuff. It's like some of the leading restaurants are really over the top. But I think it's like Miami, in my perspective, it's a little like the have or have nots with restaurants. Like you're either eating at an amazing hole in the wall that's totally affordable, or it's something completely prohibitive. I'm curious what your thoughts on that are, given that you go out a lot.
Well, first of all, that is a misperception. Mrs. Haber cooks dinner 5 nights a week, and I probably go out less than you do. However,
Here
when
we
I
go.
go out with you and your wife or others, we do go to nice restaurants, although I also go to, classic standards like Cafe Avanti and Joe Stone Crab and a local restaurant here in Sunset Harbor. Um, but, you know, I remember that when, I don't want to say when I was young, but maybe 15 years ago, an expensive dinner was $50 a person.
Right.
And now it's $150 a person. And that's
Easy.
without drinks.
Easy.
So, yes, it's cost prohibitive. You can find the hole in the wall, whether it's a Thai restaurant, a Chinese restaurant, a taco place, a pizza joint. But if you're going out for fine dining, you better be ready to spend $300 to $400 a couple,
Oh
which
yeah.
blows my mind. It
Yeah.
is that expensive.
Yeah, yeah. This was not a surprising one to me, but I'll be very interested in what our viewers say in terms of their personal experience because I hear from both sides of it. I mean, I talk with friends all the time, and again, the recommendation is either wow, you got to try this place because it's new, it's big, it's crazy, it's exciting, and yes, completely over the top expensive, or like you said, it's a local spot. The locals know about it. It's not touristy. It's classic. But look, I to be honest with you,
Miami is getting
everything's gotten expensive.
and everything's getting a Michelin star or this or that. But remember, I also forwarded to you this article about restaurants closing constantly in Wynwood and Design District and Brickell and Coral Gables because of the influx of new restaurants. And summertime is hard, very hard to keep a restaurant open.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're still seasonal to that end. And I think it is, it's hard. And then you talk about the cost of real estate. I mean, what restaurants have to pay in terms of rent, what they got to pay to, deal with parking issues. To your point earlier, people still drive everywhere. So,
But I mean,
can you get there from here?
can you really get people into these restaurants in June, July, August, and September
Well,
when
that's why Miami Spice exists, right? That's the whole point of that was
it's
to
all about,
drive,
that's what Miami Spice is totally about. It's
drive
to try
people
to
into it.
drive people to these restaurants.
Our friend Sebastian Acosta sent this to us. Paradise is back. The Ritz-Carlton Key Biscayne reopens after multi-million dollar transformation. Now, I will say the Ritz-Carlton Key Biscayne was one of the first brunch haunts that I went to when I moved to Miami. And it was, kind of a classic Miami beachfront hotel with a lavish Sunday brunch spread. I'm a big fan of the hotel. I mean, it's a great spot. It's very cool. I'm really looking forward to getting in there. Have you been out there recently? Obviously not very recently
I,
because it's been under
I
renovation.
went, I thought I went there for a Tate family wedding for one of the daughters. I think that was the last time I was there. And I think that was, I don't know if it was 3 or 4 years ago or maybe 5 years ago. I just don't remember. But that was the last time I've been there. And I am not a big Sunday brunch person like you are.
Love the brunch. Love the
I
brunch.
know, but as
Sushi, seafood bar. You
I
get
know, the
the
problem is put me in front of a buffet and it's Gluttony Incorporated. The Haber in me comes out.
this is the open bar issue again. This is the same thing
It's
that
bad
happened at
news.
the
It's not, I don't have, you know what I don't have? I don't have the stop button. And so, I just eat until I'm literally nauseous because there's all
until
that
somebody
good
has to
stuff.
rescue you.
It's all good stuff, and I want it all. And I don't do well at buffet. Lisa will tell you, me and a buffet should never be in the same room.
And never the two shall meet
And
again.
never
Well,
the two shall. You took me to Zumba for your birthday one year, and I walked out. I was ready to throw up. I ate so much. And the
but
food
but
was
but
unbelievable.
it was good. It was
It was
good.
delicious, but there's no off switch. I think the word is called moderation.
The word is called moderation. Speaking of a lack of moderation and no off switch, one word response to this one, David.
Duh.
Now, look, you and I both have a long history there, some wonderful clients and wonderful friends that live on the island. And Fisher Island was actually displaced as the price zip code in America for a few years to a city out in California. But
Yeah,
back
it was a California spot.
back on top, I'm sure partly because of the new development at Six Fisher Island, which is, has peaked over, I know, $5,000 a foot. I'm going to ask you, so I'm going to put you on the spot, and I'll answer the same thing. Would you live there or not?
If I didn't have to work for a living, well, I should preface that. If I didn't work for a living, I don't know that I have to work for a living, but if I didn't work for a living and I didn't care how long it took to get on and off the island because it just didn't matter to me, yes, I would live there. But if getting on and off in less than an hour, to get to your destination is a priority, you can't live there.
It's not a commuter spot. I mean, if you're
No,
having
it's
to go,
just
and
not.
listen, there are plenty of people who do live and work in the city, and they have to do what they have to do. But it is not, if you're looking for efficiency and speed, it's not. On the flip side, I think one of the things that I appreciated in all my years working on Fisher Island and making clients and friends out there was it actually slows you down. And to your point, I mean, it does not beget any speed of transportation, but at the same time, it kind of takes you a little bit out of that rush. I mean, I
I,
remember,
I could tell
having
you
a
that
coffee, reading a paper on the ferry. It was kind of nice.
it is a mini ocean reef club. That's the way I describe it. I don't want to say it's a poor man's ocean reef club, but it's a mini ocean reef club. Ocean Reef Club has
Easy there, easy
it
there.
has it has three golf courses and it has a airstrip and it has it's a mini city. Fisher Island is similarly, prototyped
It's more like that's
restaurants.
more like a large neighborhood. It's not a city. It's more like a large neighborhood, but it's
Right, but
got
it
right. It's
has
got the resort features. It's got the golf. It's got the marina. It's got restaurants. Yeah, yeah, for
and it's
sure.
got the gym and the spa.
Oh yeah,
So,
beautiful.
it's that kind of all-inclusive place, but it is isolated. And if you want to be elsewhere, it takes time.
Yeah, I think it's interesting looking at the evolution of Fisher Island because obviously Fisher Island first got started in the 1980s, really developing the condominiums. There wasn't a lot going on in Miami that would have really been as attractive to get you off the island. In fact, this was a little bit of Miami's answer to Palm Beach at the time. South Beach was South Beach, but the 80s, it was certainly not the South Beach we know today. The city of Miami did not have almost anything that we know of today. There was no Wynwood, there was no design district, none of that. So I think what's interesting is Fisher Island has almost had to make a comeback to kind of convince people to say, look, you don't need to go to an ultra luxury residence in Miami Beach or in the city of Miami. You can still create this nice sense of isolation. I think as Miami has turned into a much bigger city, people are seeking a little bit of respite. So I actually think Fisher Island may be enjoying a little bit of a revolution that I think it suffered with maybe a decade ago when we saw so much development in Miami Beach and the city of Miami. So I think there's reasons for this beyond just the sales of the new property too.
Want to hear a prognostication?
I'm ready.
$10,000 a square foot.
That is a serious prognostication. That's heavy duty. But you know what? I can't disagree with you because a decade ago we were wowed by $2,000 and $3,000 a foot, and
I'm
now
telling you that
and
I
now we're
think
looking at 5,000. Yeah,
within
100%.
10 years, we'll be looking at $10,000 per square foot.
And we will take
Average.
it.
And
And
yet, working class people cannot afford to live in Miami-Dade County anymore.
no, I think it is still the country's most unaffordable relative to income. Again, a topic we cover a lot in the studio show, which is
And sad because you need workers.
yep. No, you do. Well, and if you're an employee getting out to Fisher Island again, it means you're not,
No,
you know,
you're
you
driving an hour from Pembroke Pines or an hour and a half or an hour to hour and a half from Homestead, and then you got to sit and wait on the ferry.
yeah,
And you don't have priority because only the members have priority.
it's true. Although that transportation system has gotten a lot better since they built the new garage and ferry terminal on the other side. So it's improved a little bit, but still not the most convenient thing in the world. But it's not about convenience, it's about luxury.
Yeah.
And to wrap up, David, today another
Is that a
another
woman?
post another post. That's what I
Is
was
that a woman
hesitating.
upside down?
I was hesitating looking at it because you kind of gotta get the angle right on this one. But yes, that is a woman,
I
and
want to
she
see
is.
that again. Is she wearing leggings?
It looks like she's wearing leggings. It looks like she's doing something. I think they call this acro yoga, David. I think this is the acrobatic yoga where you get suspended by scarves and ropes, and
You're
you
joking,
do.
right?
No, this acro yoga is real, but that's not the point of this post. This is not an acro yoga post. You can look up acro yoga later. This is about Miami ranking #2 most wellness obsessed city in America. This ties a little bit to why is the doctor prescribing Miami. It is a very health oriented city. Now you can ask the question: is
You
it
know
health
why?
oriented
I could tell you
because are
why.
we obsessed with the way we look, or are we obsessed with how healthy we are?
Can I give you an answer?
I am ready for it.
Warm weather climates like Miami, where people wear fewer clothes and don't have big overcoats in the winter with boots and hats and scarves, you tend to be more conscientious about your weight. I don't know if you're aware of this, but in New York, for example, in the wintertime, people gain weight and then they go on a diet and they lose weight before they have to get in a bikini to go out to Long Island and go to the beach. Miami is all year round, you know, people, I don't want to say obsessed with how they look, but I would
No,
say
it's okay to say obsessed. They're obsessed with how they look. I mean, look, I
right.
listen. Whether it's
They're obsessed
clothing,
with how
watches,
they're
your
obsessed
physical
with how they
form, sure.
look, their clothing, their shoes, the pocket. I mean, if you look at if you go to Merrick Park or Bal Harbor shops, or you go to the design district and you walk around and you see the people, men and women, you see designer clothes, designer jewelry, you see people wearing very few clothes or very tight clothes. And that lends itself to being obsessed with how you look. And
Well, I don't know if
therefore, I
I don't know if
think
what we're looking
that's
at
a
is
big
very
issue.
few clothes or very tight clothes. Again, this is a slightly confounding picture, but I am going to ask you a trivia question, which is what city do you think ranks #1? I do know the answer, so this is for you.
Oh, I think it has to be LA.
Close, Santa Monica. So Santa Monica ranks #1,
Okay,
but
but that's
again,
LA. To
beachfront, it's
me,
LA. It's
to
LA,
me,
right? Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah,
I mean, that's
right.
LA. And
It's like
you're
saying
right.
Ball
It's
Harbor,
the
right?
beach areas of LA for sure.
Right, right. And that's that. But so look, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. And again, I think the wellness, I don't know, I can't think of a city that has more gyms, that has more med spas, that has more the fitness
Are people
clubs, et
going to the
cetera.
gym to look at other people, or are they going there to work out?
Both. I mean, I think it's much spectacle. I mean, it's the
It is
reality. I mean,
spectacle.
I don't. There's nothing wrong with people being, looking forward to seeing attractive people. It's not a bad thing to be surrounded
My
by other
wife
healthy
goes to a
people.
UFC gym where it's grunge. She's into just working out with weights, doing leg weights, and not looking at anybody.
Is
But
she fighting? Is it UFC like fighting, like UFC,
no,
UFC, or is
she's
that just like
not
it's just
fighting,
a
but she goes to
branded
a
gym?
gym where UFC people go because it's a hardcore, like gym rat gym.
It's like an iron gym, old
Right.
school.
Old school, smells like sweat, that kind of gym. Not the gym where they, put
The
in the scent,
potpourri and the
where they
right
have the scent that comes in through the air and the beautiful mirrors and the
and the
beautiful
rec-
lights and the
and the
beautiful
recovery
people.
room.
Oh no, they have a juice bar, remember?
Now, well, listen, at my gym, we have IV. You can get an IV to rehydrate. You can do the cold plunge, the
You're
warm,
joking,
the
right?
hot plunge. No, they have I Vita Squad. Little tip of the cap to Vita Squad at Anatomy. Absolutely. Yeah, got to get
Well,
the.
Anatomy is an incredible gym, but it is what I would call high end.
It is a health club and it is high end, but I would, look, it's a place that
And I
people
can
actually
tell
work
you
out.
that Anatomy on the Beach is a people watching people gym.
Well, the one that used to be right across from Sunset, where you live, was that was right on that stretch with Pura Vida, that whole Purdy,
All the
that whole
juice
Purdy.
places, all the
It was like
yoga places.
yoga juice bar gym. I
That's
mean,
where
it was
Jennifer
like,
Lopez used to go.
see, there you go. And I think that's why you bought the house there, although it might have been a little bit earlier than that.
I think I bought the house 30 years ago, but that's okay. I don't think
Well,
by the way, I don't think I could afford the house now.
well,
If
by the
I
way, 30
if
years ago,
I were to
Jennifer
buy
Lopez
a
was like
house
30 years
now,
old
I
still.
couldn't afford it. I'd be
David,
living in Homestead.
David, always great to catch up with you on Sunset and Sold Unfiltered. We're going to see you in the studio later, and
Do me
and then
one favor.
I'm going to do you one favor.
Don't wear a black shirt with a black
I am.
background.
I'm hiding in this.
I mean,
I
it
looked up
is,
and I was like, it's like I'm
I
a
don't know.
floating
All I
head.
see is your head. I don't even see your body.
Like I'm a floating head. I could have done some magic tricks. I could have just hidden in the background here. And is that it's not working, is it? All right, we gotta end this episode quickly. Josh Tomey, David Haber, Sun Saint and Sold Unfiltered.
Peace.